let's just dive right in. In today's world, professional networking can seriously feel like you're just shouting into a digital void, right? Well, today, we're going to break down a powerful new way to think about it all, combining that timeless, old-school connection with the incredible power of new technology.
I mean, does this sound familiar to you? You're collecting contacts, you're sending messages, maybe you're even showing up to events. But at the end of the day, it feels like you're just adding to the static, not making real connections that actually go somewhere.
And this gets to the very heart of the problem. On one hand, you've got digital networking, which can feel like drinking from a fire hose. It's just overwhelming and honestly pretty impersonal. But on the other hand, you've got in-person events. They take a ton of energy. And let's be real, how often does that stack of business cards on your desk turn into a real opportunity?
So here's the solution. It's not about choosing one or the other. Nope. The most powerful strategy today is a fusion. It's about using the intelligence of AI to supercharge your prep and your follow-up, while still sealing the deal with that irreplaceable human connection of a real-life handshake.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. The minute I say AI, your mind might jump to complex, technical, maybe even intimidating stuff. But we're going to reframe that completely. The first rule of using AI for networking is to keep it super simple.
I love how the source material for this explainer puts it. If you can order a book on Amazon, you literally already have all the skills you need to use a tool like ChatGPT. It's not about coding, it's about communicating.
Don't think of it as some scary, complex machine. Just think of it like that smart, helpful nephew in your family who just gets technology. It's your own personal assistant, available 24/7, ready to help you draft an email, brainstorm a few ideas, or just make your writing sound a little more polished.
But you have to remember the golden rule. Garbage in, garbage out. The AI is only as good as the instructions you give it. You can't just say, make this better. You have to give it some context. And you know what? It might take you 3 or 4 tries to get the perfect result. That's not a failure. That's just part of the process. It's totally okay.
Okay, so you've got your new tech-savvy assistant all warmed up and ready to go. But even the best tool in the world is useless if you don't have a clear target. And that brings us to what is maybe the most critical part of any networking strategy, focusing on the who. This metaphor is just perfect. You can use AI to generate endless content, posts, emails, you name it. It's like a kid's bubble machine. But if you don't know who you're actually writing for, you're just making empty bubbles. Yeah, they look pretty for a second, but then they just float away and pop without ever connecting with anyone. So take a second and really ask yourself this. All that work you're putting into networking, is it actually landing with the people who matter? Or are you just creating a bunch of pretty bubbles that disappear into thin air?
This is your who. It's not some vague demographic from a marketing textbook. It is the specific person who can buy your product, hire you for that job, or refer you to your next big client. And honestly, one of the best ways to find this person is still through local, in-person networking, because they're right there, standing right in front of you.
All right, so picture this. You've met your who. You had a fantastic conversation. The event ends. Now what? This brings us to the most overlooked and yet the most powerful part of this entire process. I'm talking about the 1% follow-up secret. Think about it for a second. After you leave an event, out of every 100 people who were there, how many do you think actually take the time to send a meaningful follow-up? Just take a guess. 1 person. Just 1 person out of 100. That number is absolutely staggering. But listen, this isn't a problem. This is the single biggest opportunity you have in networking today, period.
So why is that number so ridiculously low? Well, it usually boils down to some very human, very relatable fears. People get stuck because they just don't know what to say. They worry they'll come on too strong or talk too much. Or they're simply afraid of being ignored or rejected.
But here's what that means for you. It means the bar is incredibly low. It's on the floor. By simply being that one person who follows up thoughtfully, you immediately separate yourself from the other 99 people. You don't just become memorable, you become a networking superstar. And it can be so simple. Here's the playbook. Step 1, as soon as you get home, send a quick, great to meet you email. Step 2, the next morning, do what almost nobody does. Send a handwritten note and mention something specific you two talked about. Then step 3, a few days later, you make the ask, a simple call or email to schedule a proper meeting. I really want this to sink in. The follow-up isn't just a nice little thing to do at the end. It can be more important than the initial meeting itself. Think of it like this. The handshake is the foundation of the house, but the follow-up is the key that actually unlocks the front door. So let's put all the pieces together. We've talked about the tech, we've talked about the target, and we've talked about the secret tactic. Let's assemble your new modern networking toolkit. So here it is, the complete strategy. First, get grounded in your local community. Get out there and shake some hands to meet your who. Second, use AI as your simple 24/7 assistant to help you prep and craft professional communications. And third, master that 1% follow-up to turn a quick meeting into a genuine, lasting relationship. Look, this isn't just theory anymore. You now have the playbook, the secret that 99% of people are completely missing out on. So the only question left is, who are you going to connect with first?